You're tuning in to the J Blast Network. Oh yeah, welcome to the next level. Alright guys, there won't be any fancy intro this time. Nothing special, just gonna get on the mic and start talking. Whatever comes out, comes out. But I feel like this is a really important subject to talk about, and I'm kind of tired of just having to deal with it. But this virtual discussion today is going to be about the eShop closure and really the digital versus physical debate in general. But I want to go over the eShop closure. So if you didn't know, the Wii U and 3DS eShops are closing down. It's going to be a slow process. After I think that near the end of May, you won't be able to add any money with a credit card, and after the end of August, you won't be able to add any money through like a Nintendo card or Nintendo gift card. Even though it's closing next March, it's essentially just going to close in August, because after that, if you don't have any money on there, I mean, you're not getting anything, and I don't even think anything's going to sell. But the biggest issue with this is that there are a lot of games on the eShop that are eShop exclusive that really aren't on any other systems. Partially because it's very hard to emulate that on a system, and they're gonna go away if you don't get them. Plus, there are a bunch of games that may have physical copies, but the physical copies are so scalped, like to high hell, that it's borderline impossible to try to even hunt down a physical copy of the game. So you kind of have to get the digital copy of the game. Or SMT4 is a great example. It was recently on sale. I got it for about $8, and I thought it was gonna, continue to be that way. At least go on sale again. But guess what? It hasn't, and now the eShop is closing down, and that game is like what, $80 on eBay, $100. Dragon Quest 8 on the 3DS I have, and it has exclusive content, so that makes that version, unique compared to the PSC version. I got that day one. Couldn't to find out the physical version is $100 right now on eBay. And it's like, it's just terrible, man. Like, I understand why they can't keep the stores up, because, running these servers is gonna, obviously gonna make them cost more. And for the Wii U more so, I don't think that many people are using the store, but for the 3DS, they were using the store. And, now essentially people are going to start rushing to buy 3DS games, and it's going to make the prices of the physical games go up even higher, because people are going to be rushing to buy these 3DS games. And at the end of the day, it's just going to hurt getting stuff for the 3DS and the Wii U in general. Now, there aren't many games for the Wii U that are getting expensive that really you need to hunt down. There's probably about 3 of them that are getting expensive, but most of them are on the Switch, so that's why it's not that big of a deal, because there are better versions on the Switch. But again, it's just that the lack of let's just say the lack of a solution for this, especially for the 3DS, just kind of sucks, man. And I think a lot of people aren't really going so hard on this because it's Nintendo. Now, Sony tried to do this with the PS3, PSP, and the PS Vita store, and what ended up happening was a bunch of backlash got them to save the PS3 and Vita store for however long that's going to last, and shut down a PSP store. So again, I think people think when it comes to Nintendo, even if they speak up, they probably won't do anything. Nintendo probably won't listen, or they're going to listen. They're just not going to care, or not going to do anything for it. So people kind of giving up. And in that respect, the truth is, I'm going to say it just bluntly to you guys, we got to stop relying on companies to preserve the things that we want to play. And some people might come in and say, well, what if, you guys should have bought this then, now you're getting excited, now you want it now, it's like that. And I have something to say to that, because the thing is, I'll give you an example. The Sega Genesis, I was born in 1999, all right? Way past the Genesis, like prime, you would say, okay? I didn't really start getting into retro gaming until late in middle school, when I bought a Sega Genesis myself. But at that same day, I bought the Sega Genesis Ultimate Collection, which has a lot of Genesis games. And even before that, you had games like the Sonic Mega Collection and you had games like the older Genesis collection on the PS2, the PSP, and so on and so forth. And to this day, we keep having Genesis collections and upon Genesis collections. Some of us are not going to be born in the years that the 3DS was prime, or these consoles were in their prime, to buy this stuff. This is the reality of it, okay? Like, another example is Xenosaga 3. Recently, I think about a year ago or something, somebody asked Harada on Twitter, the producer of one of the producers of Namco and Tekken, about what happened with Xenosaga, and they're going to be re-release of the Xenosaga trilogy. And Harada was just like, well, we wanted to do it, but we checked what potential sales could be, and well, we just didn't do it. Okay, so now if you want a physical copy or the original copy of Xenosaga 3, you're gonna have to go on eBay and pay upwards to about $300 or $200 at the least just for a copy of Xenosaga 3. I was able to get it at a cheaper price. A lot of people aren't gonna be able to get a cheaper price. And the thing, someone said, well, I would have bought it, right? And the thing they say was, oh, you should have, well, why didn't you buy it back then? And that kind of ticks me off because, again, a lot of people don't get interested in these franchises until later on. When Xenosaga 3 came out, I was freaking 6, dude. I was 6 years old, okay? It was already hard enough to go get the latest Sonic game I wanted, all right? Much less harder for me to understand whatever the hell those things are. And if I even found out what Xenosaga was, there was less of a chance that my mom was going to get it for me, or that GameStop or whatever store would let me have it, because it's like a T for teen game. So, like, time matters, okay? A lot of people, and this is going on a separate rant, but I'm going to get back to the Eshop, but a lot of people got into the Xeno series with Xenosaga. Not Xenosaga, but Xenoblade. Alright, Xenoblade got a lot of people in, and they want to go back and play these games. And now they're getting told, what? We should have bought it then? A lot of people didn't know about it then. I'm sorry, your advertising was poor. You just in general, the reach was poor. A lot of us were kids back then. Alright, we didn't know what the hell was going on. We just got what our parents gave us, and if there was something we liked, for instance, me with Sonic, that was probably the only thing that we got back then. And that's a separate rant. But that kind of goes back to the point of what I'm trying to say with this, is that, like, people are going to grow up, people kind of miss out on things, okay? And it's not that they want to or that they didn't care about it all the time. It's just that, like, when people want to go back and want to experience these things, they should be able to experience it, right? And when you shut down the stores and you don't bring up another better alternative, which would have been fine if they brought a better alternative to this, right? But they're not. They're not bringing a better alternative to this. And it was the same happened with PlayStation. If Microsoft, an example, shuts down the Xbox 360 store, they have put as much as they can, all right, due to licensing, maybe just system hardware or compatibility. They have put as much backwards compatibility as they can, to where if they shut down the 360 store, yes, it's gonna suck. It's gonna suck really bad, man. But at the same time, it's gonna be like, not that big of a deal, because a lot of the biggest stuff is on the Xbox One. It's on the Xbox Series S, the new consoles. They have integrated a lot of this in the backwards compatibility. And if it's not on there, it's probably still cheap to collect for now, thanks to Microsoft doing that with the 360. There aren't that many 360 games that are that expensive because of this, but Sony and Nintendo just don't get this. They don't get it. I know there's rumors of Sony developing a similar service for the PS5, but until I see it, until it's real, until it's like not just a subscription service, but an actual letting you download these games and buy these games and keep these games on your system, I'm not gonna count that. And what Nintendo does for this is they just have subscription services for like N64, Sega Genesis, the NES, and the Super Nintendo. We have not had any backwards compatibility for stuff like the GameCube. We had backwards compatibility with the Wii U, but it's not that many games for that, and some Game Boy Advance games, not many games for that. It took them the Switch is on this 5th year, and we just got N64 games like last year. Okay, like how long is it gonna take to get GameCube games? How long is it gonna take to get the other games? Are they even gonna come to the Switch? And if they do come to the Switch, it's going to be too late before the next console comes in, just so they can shut down the subscription for this console. Like, it's just such a pain, dude, to get this stuff officially. And that's what I'm going to go into this other part of the video. And it's going to be a little bit controversial, I know. But to be honest, man, I don't care. I don't even care anymore. It's fair game. It is fair freaking game when companies do this, you know, and they want to get mad at it. But the reality of it is that when you don't like you have different shows, different forms of media, and you don't give people access to it, they're gonna find a way to access to it. Now, 9 times out of 10, most people will buy the stuff that you make. Like, people will go buy Switch games, right? You know, it was available. But if it's not available, then people are not gonna buy it. People are gonna find ways to get it if it's not available. And you already know what I'm talking about: emulators, ROMs. And some might say, "Oh, the physical copy will always be there." The thing about the physical copy, I just mentioned before, there's gonna get scalped. It's gonna get scalped to high hell. Nintendo's not making money off of it, and you're gonna get cases like I said. Dragon Quest VIII is $100 right now, and these other 3DS games are going up in price every single day. Another example is Xenosaga 3, which again is $200 to $300 right now, way above its original market price value. Okay, and none of that's going to Namco, none of that's going to Nintendo, none of that's going to none of them. It's going to these resellers. All right. Now, I don't have a problem with resellers. You know, they're gonna do they gotta do in the market. My point stands is that the physical copy is just not the final solution. Unless we just start selling these physical copies for $5 a piece. All right, it's not a final solution. It's not the ultimate solution, because in some cases it might as well be a digital game that never got taken out the store, or never got a physical copy out the store, and you just can't get it. In some cases, look at a better example. Panzer Dragoon Saga, man, I've wanted this game for so long. But I look at the price when I was started collecting back in what? I said it was in middle school. That was like in, I want to say 2013. That game was $500, guys. $500. Now it's like $1,500, dude. It essentially tripled in its value, okay? Like, don't sit here and tell me that the physical copy is the better solution, because this game has not been released on anything. But at least it's going to be always there with a physical copy, right? But when you can't get the physical copy, if you can't buy the damn thing, man, it's such a frustrating thing to see. And that's why I say emulation is the ultimate option, because like I said, they're not selling this game. It's free reign, and you can always emulate on the computer. And there's ways now where you can emulate off the console, but at that point, it's not really emulating off the console. You're more so running it off the console through maybe a flash card or a memory card with an SD card in it. And you have a bunch of games on there you can load up and play them from the console, which is probably the best experience because you're not dealing with a bunch of the bugs an emulator can cause. But there's so many ways to do that, right? And they're making things like, I have a flash card from my DS. I gave up on collecting for the original DS because prices have gone insane. About 2 years ago, Dragon Quest 4, 5, and 6 were like $25 each. I was an idiot and I didn't buy them then. So what ended up happening was that all of a sudden, I guess maybe the popularity of Dragon Quest, or maybe because of the retro market spike, thanks to the pandemic, Dragon Quest 5 is like what, $250 on eBay, something like that. It's something in that price range, and the other ones are not fair enough either because they're like still around $100, right? And it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous how they've gone up. And what do you want people to do? Well, hey, Square never released these games on the console. They're on the mobile phone, but they're not on the consoles. All right, those specific versions are not on other consoles. And then you also have games that just never released here that have English translation. You know that you're gonna have to emulate. Hey, Tales of Fantasia, the best version of Tales of Fantasia is the PS1 version. Guess what? That version never came out. It never came out on in Western shores, and people have English patched it, and it's the best version. I play it on a PS Classic, just like that. You know, and the other Tales games on the PS1, they aren't fair off either, because Tales of Destiny 2 is almost $400 and Tales of Destiny 1 is almost like $200 to get. Guys, this stuff is not worth it to do that. It is not worth it. They're not giving back to the company. The company clearly does not want you to buy these games, or they haven't made a better solution for it. So emulation or having games run through the system through some external means is the solution. Now the 3DS is going to get R4 cards or flash cards, which it's already gotten for DS. It's probably gotten it for it too. So I'm not too worried about that on that front. You know, you can always get those and it'll help you. But if you want those games like how they are, you know, supporting them, that was the only way. That was the only way. A lot of people don't want to, you know, deal with flashcards or find these ROMs. And it's kind of getting harder because Nintendo is like sniping down every single freaking ROM site. They're sniping down everything. And it's freaking terrible, dude. And because of that, it's been harder to get them, you know. I've been collecting for GameCube. I had to stop because it's just been so expensive. The essentials on that system are so expensive. Like they're still like either at their market price value or they're going like way above it for some reason. And some of these games, these aren't obscure games, right? These are things like Super Smash Bros. Melee, Pokemon. Pokemon is that expensive. The Wario games, the Mario games, all right? Like, it doesn't make any sense. These sold well. And even the Pokemon games on GBA, right? You know, those are the main ones that get like modded so hard thanks to emulation and, you know, just have a bunch of mods in general. And those games, like Emerald is like what, $200, $300 on eBay. You don't even know it's gonna be a fake. That's another thing. You don't even know it's gonna be a fake. Someone could sell you a fake copy of the game and you wouldn't even know. And I'm not even against repo cards. I actually like them for stuff because, you know, the stuff gets too expensive as long as they work fine. But the fact that people can sell you fakes like that, it's ridiculous. And Nintendo hasn't even put those games on the Switch or anything. They haven't done anything with those games. And I know I'm going on a tangent, I've been going all over the place. But it all goes back to this thing of just like, you know, again, I'm telling you guys, we cannot rely on companies to keep preserving games. They do not care. They do not want to put the resources into doing that, okay? It's got to be on us. It's got to be on us. All these emulation machines, all these ways to put games in. The PSP, I haven't bought a single PSP game because I put it all on my PSP. And you know what? I don't feel bad about it. I don't really, care to like, go hunt stuff down because they shut down the PSP store. So might as freaking well, right? Might as well. Right? Sony's not doing nothing about it. They're not putting a lot of their games on the system. They don't have rationing point size matters or all these other games on their current system on the PS5. You can't backwards compatibility play that. You can't do any of that. So I just don't care. The Vita has a thing where you can get games on there and like that. And they're selling the games right now on the Vita store. I'm pretty sure that store's going down. Like I'm pretty sure both of the PS3 and Vita stores are going down. And that Sony like delaying it was not to like be nice. They're probably just waiting to kind of let that bad blood die down, and then gonna shut it down at some point because these things are not lasting that much longer. They're not getting updated. They run like trash. All right, and they're just not. They obviously don't care to keep these things up. And this is all I just say. Like again, just emulate, guys. Find ways to emulate. Find ways to get these ROMs. Don't worry about people say, "Oh, this and that," "Oh, you couldn't. You should have been there." Because the reality, we can't be there for everything. Okay. We can't be there for every little thing. We can't be there, all right, to know this and that and this and that. And the reality of it is that at this point, it's getting to the point where it's too late. It's too late to go out and hunt. As a retro collector myself, it is not fun collecting retro games anymore. That feeling of going into a store and buying 6 great games at once and paying only like $30 for all that stuff, that era is dead. That era is gone. Even for the cheapest stuff like the PS2, that era is gone. All right, it's dead in the water. It no longer exists. And I know it's part of it's like, oh, you're complaining because prices are more expensive. It's not just that. It's just that some stuff it just gets kind of draining. Some stuff is just way up above what it really should be. I feel, and because of that, we just have to suffer for it. A lot of people who grow up have to suffer for it. Imagine a lot of people that want to get in the GameCube, want to get cut GameCube collecting. I'm just gonna be real, you're locked out of it unless you are making a lot of money. You're locked out of it, dog, because it's like 40 again for the essential games on the GameCube. It's like starting at 60 and going above and going above and keep going up, and it's still going up. And the only way it can be fixed is if Nintendo releases these games. Because guess what? Mario Sunshine was very expensive. You can go on price chart and look at the timeline. Mario Sunshine was a very expensive GameCube game. But guess what? So there's Nintendo 3D All-Star Collection, where they also made that a limited thing, which is it's so stupid, man. But that being released significantly dropped down the price of Sunshine. So what does that tell you? That tells us, or tells you, that there are copies out there, okay? There are still so many copies. These games aren't rare. They should be at this price in the first place. A lot of them really should be in the 30 to 20 range, because there's still so many freaking copies out there. They can be lowered to that point. If they release Panzer Dragoon Saga, it's not going to lose its value. Why? Because it's a really rare game. It's an actual rare game that deserves to get that price. It's not going to lose its value because there's some people that want the original copy after playing that one, the re-release, which they say I don't even think it's going to even release the game at this point. Apparently, it lost the source code. But my point is, in saying this, is that the companies just don't care, bro. Unless it's a few care, and they don't care, and they can't do it. And in reality, they can't do everything because licenses and stuff. Like Tony Hawk, for instance, you're gonna have to license all that music again, just all the skaters and all that stuff. It's just that's why they have to make new games and turn to that. They just can't do it, unless they make a machine that's just running running off emulation, and say, hey, our machine runs emulation. We're not selling any games, but you can put games on there. We're not telling you how, but you can put games on there. It's a loophole. I think Phil Spencer even talked about something similar to that idea. But to kind of wrap this up, I've kind of been over the place. It's just a little rant, really. But the 3DS eShop closing sucks, bro. The Wii U and 3DS eShop closing sucks. If you want to get your stuff official, go ahead and get it. Go ahead and get what you want off the shop. I don't even know if you're going to be re-download stuff anymore. When they close, they might just close for good. But just get your big SD card, go in the shop, get what you want. Don't rush out to go buy these physical copies and then get Scout, because they're going to be Scout right now. They're going to raise the price because 3DS is dying and everyone's hunting them down. But get stuff you want that is pretty expensive, it's pretty cheap. Just save it, go get it later. And really, to you guys, if you don't have money or that much money and you just kind of just stomp with this all of a sudden, hack your 3DS, put stuff on there. You can still get 3D effect, you can still get that stuff as long as you hack it and do it right. You should be fine, because at the end of the day, if they're not selling it to you, it's fair game. They're not making 3DS copies of these games. I don't think they're making any 3DS. You can't even go send it to repair 3DS anymore in Nintendo, or Wii U. They're not making money off of this, so why should we care? I'm a person who supports the official release of a lot of things. Like the current system. I'm not gonna go, get it around with the current systems, like Switch and stuff. I'm gonna go buy those games because they're new games. They're available on the market. I'm gonna go buy them. But for other things, hunting for the PS2 and hunting for the GameCube and hunting even now for the 3DS, when you do this, when you don't give access to people, what they want, you're opening the doors to this. And I know there's gonna be people that are gonna be fake about it and just kind of trying to get mad at Nintendo for anything or get mad at anybody for anything. I know how that works, but those people are such a small amount, and the real problem here is just that your stuff is just not gonna be preserved. You want to play SNT 4 after playing SNT 5 on the Switch, you're shit out of luck unless Atlas releases that game again. Unless you want to go and emulate, which I say, ultimate solution is emulation. The ultimate solution will always be emulation. It won't be your physical copy because it won't always be there, because ROMs are dying on some physical copies of way older stuff, and your physical copy can break easily, like a disc or something. So you might buy a freaking broken disc, but you might not know it. and or like a damaged ROM or a damaged cartridge or something, and well, your physical copy's gone. It's not digital because again, stuff like this happens when the store is shut down, and you might not be able to re-download stuff after you got it if the store is shut down. But it's always going to be emulation because you're going to always be able to find ROMs, even if you put it on folders, keep it inside a folder, put it on a flash card, put it in the system, do whatever you want with it. And there can be English patches and stuff like that for certain games. And as long as those are around, emulation will always be the best method. And that goes back to what I said. I'm gonna say it again. We gotta stop relying on companies to preserve this stuff for us. It's time for us to do it on your own. In whatever way you want to do it. You want to buy the games, you want to emulate, whichever way you want to do it, you should do it. You gotta stop relying, gotta stop begging these companies because they don't care. And that's the sad reality of it. I know it's been a somber episode, guys, and I've been kind of all over the place trying to explain this, but I had a lot on my mind to talk about this. I didn't mean for it going for this long, but if you guys are sharing the same sentiments, please tell me in the comments below how you feel about this whole situation, because to me, it's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. I knew 3DS and Wii U eShops were going to close at some point. I just didn't know it was this soon. Well, I'm going to go see if I can salvage some of these 3DS games from the eShop in the remaining time that we have to get these games. And for those who can't get it, again, do what I say. I'm not gonna. There's so many videos on YouTube you can find to do this stuff. Do that, and you should be good. You should be good. Be able to play it, even on the original hardware. For those who want physical copies, you can go get them and go pay that much for them. Go ahead and do that. Do what you want to do. It's J Blast Network, guys. I'm not that enthusiastic about it. It's been a day, man. It's been a week, really. And I'm signing out. Hopefully to a better video next time. Thanks for watching. Go get your games, guys. Whatever games you want. Peace.